Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. Let me know if you guys can actually hear me properly. I just decided to put up a entirely new setup here for the recording studio, kinda. So I'm not sure if everything is going right. I put a microphone in a different spot. I put a lot of different things on and different like keyboard and stuff like that. Mouse is still the same, still doesn't work. As you guys know, the mouse, it double clicks every time you try to click once, which is very annoying if you want to click away one tab, by the way, if you didn't think about that. All right, you guys say it's all fine. Late for your own show. Yeah, I just schedule it and then I just, try to put my settings in properly and whatnot. That's why you sometimes have to wait about 5 minutes or so. All right. So, without wasting too much time, let's get into the Coinbase thing straight away. Because I already know people are going to call clickbait and stuff like that. So, breaking, because I just noticed this. Coinbase, which we talked about yesterday in great lengths, has basically, well, let's say it differently. They had, up until just recently, a page on their website, which was coinbase.com/international, I believe, where they basically promoted XRP, as you can see here in the subtitle, the title, and the picture. You can see they basically promoted XRP next to USDC, basically. Send money internationally for free. Send money to India, Mexico, and the Philippines, and many other countries using XRP or USDC, free for all Coinbase users. Now, we talked about this yesterday to great lengths. It was really fun because after 2 years, they still kept promoting XRP, even though they took it down. Well, we noted that yesterday. We said it to the entire community, and look what happened. Breaking. Coinbase took their XRP page down after numerous XRP community members noticed that a 2019, because that's actually where this page is from, website still promoted XRP. You can see the picture is still there, but the web page is now available. Because if you look, it says 404 page not found on the top here. On the link itself, and down below here you can see, if you go to that website, we can't find the page you're looking for. The link didn't work. Perhaps you want to learn about crypto or get some help, blah 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 blah. Point being, took it down, and the person who actually told me about this was XRP Misku, I don't know, Finnish. They took it down, and she put up that on your phone you can't find it anymore, even though it's the proper link, which was rather peculiar, because that means that Coinbase was really fast with all of this. And you guys will most likely say different stories. I mean, it could be, for example, that Coinbase hinted this by accident. It could be that it could mean a lot of different stuff. But point is, they took the website down, which means they notice us on Twitter, though. Yeah, that's, I guess, interesting. Coinbase says XRP is not yet available. Yeah, because I think Coinbase, too, thinks that XRP will eventually win. But that's a story for a different day, guys. I already told you guys exactly why I personally think that Coinbase and Ripple should work together. Purely because it would just be in their best interest and it would most likely get them the best results. By the way, guys, if you're watching this video, we have about 250 people watching, about 400 people who pressed the stream on in total. Make sure you press that like button. Helps the channel out a ton, doesn't cost you anything. And, well, yeah, I think a lot of you guys forget to press it, but theoretically speaking, instantly we could be at 250 likes, right? Because all the people watching right now, they appreciate the content. There we go. But I'm going to say just hitting 100 or so is always amazing as well, because it shows that you guys are actually enjoying the content. And once more, guys, if you ever have any criticism, you can always tell me. I always appreciate it. All right. But yeah, Coinbase, as of this point, still sucks in my opinion. Now, Altcoin Daily, one of the most popular crypto accounts on the entire web, said, imagine if XRP holders are 100% right. And I find it kind of funny because I firmly believe that we as XRP holders are very right. I personally think that XRP will be one of the greatest crypto, and the problem is, I don't know if XRP will be the best short-term crypto. That means, for example, between now and the next 5 weeks, maybe another coin will outperform, or very much so, definitely possible. I personally think, though, however, that for the longer term, XRP is just the best, if we're talking like, let's say about within 1 year from now, because of the risk to reward, not just reward on its own. Let's rephrase that, right? If we look at 1 year into the future, I personally think that XRP will have the craziest gains out of every crypto. if you look at the amount of risk that it has together with it. Because, of course, an altcoin that's really low in the position ranking might outperform. Just let's be honest. It could definitely be. However, that's, again, way more risk of just losing all your money. I believe with XRP, there's a really perfect balance between just being, not that risky, but still a very, very high potential. Which is oh, stream has gone quiet? It could be, because oh, you were trolling me. We good though, guys, right? I don't know if you're trolling or you just put your sound off by accident. Let's quickly see, guys. Stream all good? The reason I'm asking, by the way, oh, okay, I hear you. I see one already. Yeah, sometimes it's trolls, but as I said before, I just put up a new microphone setup, and when I was setting it up, the microphone did come out of it a couple of times, so I just wanted to quickly make sure. But one person said it's good. Oh, he says, no troll, I just muted myself. Oh, I had another heart attack, guys. Whenever the live stream lags, I get like a little circle on the left of my screen. When I see that circle, I instantly get a little bit of some dookie in my pants because I think that YouTube got us again. But we're good, guys. We're good. All right, so I personally think we're right. Now, the most important subject of today is this. Rosalind Layden put up over on her Twitter with 4,000 likes. Why was Ethereum blessed while its rival Ripple was sued? And now, straight at the bat, that's a really interesting subject, right? You can already guess, kind of, why that question is very, very juicy. But, of course, I got some cool answers for y'all, too. Now, let's check it out. It's time to end the SEC's clarity charade on crypto. For 5 years, investors and project developers in the $2 trillion blockchain innovation space have been subjected to an increasingly maddening charade that the US SEC has called regulatory clarity. Years of SEC speeches, public statements, meeting records, correspondence, and first-hand accounts from market participants provide anything but clarity for the rules on digital assets or distributed ledger technology projects. This is another financial crisis in the making. SEC Chairman Gary Gensler said at an Aspen Institute appearance this summer that the rules are awfully clear on crypto. In a recent interview with Financial Times, he urged developers to talk to us, come in, because the fate of the industry, like all finance, is about trust. Few can see this clarity, but its absence is so acute that even the biggest US companies in the blockchain industry can no longer count on the SEC to provide any clear guidance other than through a lawsuit. That's again what Coinbase kind of came down on last week. Brian Armstrong tweeted an account that is now alarmingly familiar. Other crypto companies have been offering lending products for customers who hold digital assets, and the only publicly listed exchange in the US wanted to do the same. So Coinbase took Gary Gensler's advice and went in. They approached the SEC for guidance on their product. Armstrong says the SEC responded with subpoenas for records and depositions, demanded a list of all their clients who had expressed interest in the product, and finally issued Coinbase a Wells notice, which basically is a warning of impending enforcement action. Armstrong said that by May of this year, the SEC was the only office in Washington refusing to meet with him at all. And that's actually because a little while ago, there was this meeting that Coinbase had with a lot of different regulators, like every single regulator in the United States. And, well, the only person basically that didn't want to come is the SEC or any individual from there. So basically either against, I don't know if it was May of this year. They say May of this year, but I don't know if that was actually the truth. Let's just accept it as truth for right now. The SEC didn't want to talk with them, which is actually confusing because you would kind of think that if the SEC thinks they should rule over this sector, that they should really specifically meet up with Coinbase to talk about it, right? Because literally, guys, the SEC claimed in one of their letters that they should have the jurisdiction over security exchanges, which crypto will most likely fall under. There was a big back and forth, right, earlier with the Elizabeth Warren, I believe, letter to Gary Gensler that should have been answered on the 27th of July or 28th of July. Hopefully you guys remember the letter that I'm talking about. However, in that letter, basically, in that regard, what it basically was about, if we got the picture correct and straight, was that in that letter, she basically asked Gensler let's think about it properly. Yeah, how he valued cryptos in comparison to securities, normal securities, and also crypto exchanges compared to securities exchanges. And so, if he thought, which he did express, that security exchanges and crypto exchanges basically fall under the SEC, well, then he should have met with them, right, to kind of talk about that and get them to accept it, get them to know it, and all that stuff, which is interesting. So that's peculiar. They're refusing to offer any opinion in writing to the industry on what should be allowed and why, and instead are engaging in intimidation tactics behind closed doors. And that's because most likely, guys, there's actually been multiple different companies. I'm looking for actually a, here we go. I'm looking for a different, not blanket, what do you say, cushion for my knees. Why? Because I keep, because I sit down a lot of the day, I'm thinking sometimes to just switch over a little bit. I should go sit on my knees or something like that and do some crazy stuff. That's also why I changed the microphone setup so I can actually, maybe sometimes sit differently. I don't even know. I can do a lot of different stuff. Just, goof around a little bit. Never mind. I'm sitting too low now. I'm sitting on the floor. This ain't helping. No, let's readjust. There we go. All right. So, okay. I notice now that I accidentally messed up. Now my earphones are only one ear. I messed up, but whatever. We'll continue on. They're refusing to offer any opinion in writing to the industry and basically using intimidation tactics behind closed doors. Armstrong tweeted, "Meanwhile, plenty of other crypto companies continue to offer a lend feature, but Coinbase is somehow not allowed to." Picking winners and losers. Coinbase is the first case of the SEC picking winners and losers in the crypto space with its regulation by enforcement approach. The breathtaking case of SEC v. Ripple has exposed the incoherence of the SEC's concept of clarity. The agency argues that XRP, the native digital asset used by Ripple and other companies on an open source decentralized ledger, has been an unregistered security since it was introduced in 2013. And the company, its executives, and every investor in the market should have known it. The SEC has been forced to admit in the court that it never gave fair notice prior to the lawsuit, and let's take that away. And any market participant, and there were many who sought guidance on XRP that it was security. Accounts of meetings have emerged in which Ripple's executives pleaded with then SEC Chairman Jay Clayton in 2018 that they were in purgatory over the lack of clarity on XRP status. And Clayton provided no guidance other than keep talking to his staff. And when the lawsuit came in December of 2020, it not only charged the company with 7 years of unregistered security trades, but the executives with recklessly aiding and abetting those trades and demanding billions of dollars in fines. The action sent XRP plunging, set off panic selling among investors, and millions of holders, they were basically not happy with this because it was a $15 billion value loss. Now, regulatory darlings, while the SEC hammers Coinbase and Ripple, it gives Ethereum a pass. Ethereum was launched in 2014, what platform creator Vitalik Buterin called a sale for anyone to purchase, better known as an initial coin offering. Buterin also arranged the sale of 500,000 Ether to hedge fund investor Mike Novogratz in 2015, which Buterin himself credited as having guaranteed the platform's financial survival. This means there were centralized sales of huge quantities of Ether and an expectation of a profit from speculative investors who bought it. Joseph Lubin, a co-founder of Ethereum and the co-founder, or actually founder for that matter, of Consensus. You guys all know the company by now. It's extremely popular. We talk about it all the time on the channel here. Spent much of 2018 giving effusive speeches about how well it was going for his project after he and a group of Ethereum-connected investors and lawyers went into the SEC in March of that year to lobby for Ether not to be declared a security. In June of 2018, those efforts paid off when the SEC Director William Hinman delivered a speech declaring that Ether was not a security because, putting aside the fundraising, which is a very good part, it had decentralized over time and was not subject to the SEC regulation. The price of Ether on the secondary markets has increased 600% since then, and in contrast, the SEC said in the Ripple lawsuit that XRP has been a security from 2013 to the present day, and that it has never had any utility apart from being an investment contract in Ripple. Some 19,000 aggrieved XRP holders and developers with no connection to Ripple are vociferously contesting in their motion to intervene in this case. The contradiction is glaring. So let's follow the money, right? Without congressional oversight, a regulator can roughshod over the law. Why was the SEC, why was Ethereum blessed with while its rival Ripple was sued? Why does Coinbase get a Wells notice while crypto lenders like Aava built on the Ethereum platform get a pass? And there's where things get interesting. So you guys in the Telegram were telling me, Dusty, check out the digital asset investor on his Aava update. Well, I have an update for you because, to be honest with you, I know Aava most likely better than any of you guys here. Because as I said before, guys, I've been with them since the freaking start of the start with ETHLend. Why am I saying that? Well, because, as I said just now, I've been with them since the start of the start by accident. Yet, because of it, I've updated myself so many times throughout the last couple of years. Long story short, Aava, right? We all know it. We all know the DeFi sector. We all know the protocol here, Aava, because I've talked about it 1,000 times on the channel. What is more important, though, is the previous name that I know because I held it. A lot of you guys weren't here. 2017, I think. Maybe it was even before that, but I held it at the time. It was called Ethereum Lend. Because what it basically did was allow for a platform where you could borrow and lend money. And on Ethereum, that's why it was called Ethereum Lend, right? Very obvious, very easy to understand. Now, why is that platform then in the United States completely allowed, completely fine? And the thing which is built on Ethereum for that matter is also completely fine. But when Coinbase tries to go through something, oh, big problem. No, you can't do that. You'll be sued. What's the difference? Is it because it's decentralized versus centralized? But then again, it's a lending platform, though. I mean, a bank does it too. So where's the issue? Jesse Powell, CEO of Coinbase's rival Kraken, tweeted a response to Armstrong that regulators are beating down good actors because it's convenient, and asked, who is behind the effort to drive domestic businesses to consumers offshore? Angry XP holders point to Clayton and Hinman's business ties to Ethereum before and after their SEC tenures. Powell implies that established financial actors welcome regulatory chaos to protect their revenue of transaction fees if it deters crypto's disruption of traditional business models. So the question that pops up in everybody's mind is, okay, so there's definitely some conflict of interest or hypocrisy since, well, they're fine with Aava, which is on Ethereum and basically connected to Ethereum in that sense. It's all good. Yet when Coinbase, an established and safe entity in that sense, try to do it is bad? Strange. What will happen? What will go on? Will Congress do the job? Well, the U.S. has enjoyed a fintech boom, but that doesn't mean it'll continue. They continued clarity charade is driving fintech innovators and investors abroad. SEC Chairman Gary Gensler will appear on Tuesday for a Senate Banking Committee oversight hearing. Is actual oversight going to happen on the SEC's regulation by enforcement? Will senators challenge him on the clarity charade? Will Congress legislate if Gensler refuses to act? Many angry and frustrated people, American employers, investors, and voters will not wait much longer. The SEC is supposed to provide clear, unambiguous rules through a transparent process. Lack of clarity has created financial crisis before, and it can happen again. Very obvious. The crypto guy came with $2 saying, buy the dip with my little support. I will, my friend. I will use your €2 to buy the dip and become a multi-billionaire. Your $2 is going to get me there, my friend. Thank you very much. Chadwick says, run roughshod. Imagine walking a horse through your house after waxing the floors. Ooh, okay. That wouldn't be nice after waxing the floors. I get that then. That's a really strange English word, though. I guess it originates from England itself rather than, like an Americanized word. Roughshod. Roughshod. Sounds like a lot of different languages in one another. It kind of said it in an Arabic way. You say it in like a German way. That's a crazy word. Roughshod. Whatever. All right, so one of my only points, actually, there's a couple things I need to say. So one, I wrote it down, right? From our previous stream, guys, we got a couple of conclusions, and that is that we have a couple of coincidences coming up. So tomorrow, there's a couple of things happening which you want to know about. One, Gary Gensler is going to appear in front of Congress tomorrow. Very interesting event. Not exactly sure what it's going to entail, but all right, very interesting. Two, which is not tomorrow but the day afterwards, the Sunshine Meeting. It is basically the SEC meeting up with themselves and meeting and talking about some stuff we don't know. Then we have the same day, tomorrow, the SEC sending over their documents to the judge, which is going to be very, very interesting because the judge can see and they can basically give us some feedback as to whether or not it was allowed, what they did. Again, after that, there's also going to be the Brad Garlinghouse deposition tomorrow. So tomorrow, generally speaking, is going to be a very interesting day. But that's one part. Second part is to do with Congress, which is not necessarily tomorrow, except for the Gary Gensler coming in front of it. So at the end of this month, the Senate comes back from the summer holiday. They have to actually, again, give the seal of approval on the new crypto part in the infrastructure bill. I do wonder how that's going to run out and how that's going to develop itself, because we saw so much criticism. We saw so many different parties already be like, I wonder how that's going to continue on and whether or not it'd be denied basically, or if they'll be happy with it, if you guys get my drift. I really do wonder. It's going to be interesting. Now, John Deaton has been going, of course, a little bit crazy over on Twitter. Ethereum Joseph received 9.5% of Ether as a co-founder. Everyone knows Vitalik and Lubin held an ICO through crowdfunding, which was, without a doubt, an unregistered security offering. Where was the SEC? Where's the outrage from those that attack Ripple and XRP? It's a good question. One River Asset Management bet $1 billion on Bitcoin and Ether in October of 2020. 2 months later, on his last day at the SEC, Clayton directs the enforcement action against Ripple. 12 weeks later, Clayton joins back One River Management. Clayton's law firm represented Joe Lubin and Consensus even prior, which is a very big detail. Hinman's law firm was on the board of the Ether Alliance. Hinman's firm represented clients heavily involved in the Ethereum Foundation. Hinman collected over $50 million from his law firm, the one on the board of the Ether Alliance, while working at the SEC, and we know for a fact that Hinman, as director of corporation finance, had a meeting with Joe Lubin and representatives from Consensus on December 13, 2017. This meeting with the co-founder of Ethereum took place while the SEC was aggressively investigating and prosecuting ICOs, because most rules for crypto came in 2017. Kik, EOS, Telegram, and dozens of others were being investigated or prosecuted during the time period of the Lubin and Hinman meeting. Maybe this meeting was about Ether's ICO. Well, no. Was Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, or Chris Larsen being investigated yet? No. Then a tweet is unavailable. Despite XRP's significant market cap and notoriety, investigating Ripple wasn't even a thought despite the SEC's aggressive stance against ICOs and fraud within the digital asset space. By the way, guys, if you are enjoying these videos or live streams, right now we're live, as I've said before, make sure you press that like button. Helps the channel out, doesn't cost you anything, and there's a couple of links down below for, first of all, my alert Telegram group. It's not for any price signals or anything like that. It's just whenever I upload a video on YouTube, sometimes people don't get a notification. So I will repost the video in the Telegram so people are sure to get a notification for it. And then also the Telegram group you might want to check out. It's just a group where everybody can just chat in. And guys, let me know in the chat box where you're watching from right now. I always find it fun to see. I see somebody say, anybody here from California? If you are, say yeah, or something like that, just to show the person. And once more, guys, check these two groups out. The Telegram group might be fun, but more importantly, the alerts, so you get alerted every single time. And make sure you check out Bybit if you want to. If that's something you like, go check it out, because that's the exchange I use to trade XRP personally. Just got a nice little bounce on the XP forefront coming back up there. I guess the bounce should officially be here, huh? Peculiar. And also my Instagram, for all of you that do not know, I have an Instagram. It's called DDustTBC. There's a lot of scammers trying to impersonate me though, guys. So make sure you understand that I will never DM you, and you should be very, very careful if somebody's following you or something like that, because it's not me, all right? It really isn't me. Let's continue on. So why didn't the SEC pursue Ripple in 2017 with all the other unregistered securities? In addition to XRP being the number 2 or the number 3 crypto asset, prior to 2015, FinCEN and the SEC agreed to meet regularly and share information about companies. Ripple entered into a settlement agreement with FinCEN in 2015, agreeing to register all future sales only with FinCEN. We have the little picture there. So this is what they agreed on. Within 30 days of the date of this agreement, Ripple Labs and XRP2 will move its service known as Ripple Trade, formerly known as Ripple Wallet, which allows end users to interact with Ripple protocol to view and manage their XRP and fiat currency balances, and any such functional equivalent to a money service business that is registered with FinCEN, the Ripple Trade MSB. So the thing for that one is any sale or transmission of XRP by Ripple Labs or any of its subsidiaries shall be conducted only through an entity registered with FinCEN. Well, the point is the SEC was well aware of Ripple and the XRP by 2017. Let's return to the Lubin and Consensus meeting in December of 2017. If not Ether's crowdfunded ICO, what was it about? In his deposition, Hinman claimed he was unsure who represented Lubin and Consensus. That's right. Hinman testified he was unsure whether his boss and close friend Jay Clayton's law firm represented Lubin and Consensus. 6 months after the initial meeting with Lubin and Consensus on June 14, 2018, Hinman stated Ether was no longer a security. He ignored the Ethereum ICO because it can't be described as anything other than an unregistered securities offering. In his speech, Hinman says putting aside the fundraising. Why would Hinman put aside the fundraising? Regardless, we can all agree this is one huge aside. So, quote, and so when I look at Bitcoin today, this is from his speech, I do not see a central third party whose efforts are a key determining factor in the enterprise. The network on which Bitcoin functions is operational and appears to have been decentralized for some time, perhaps from inception. Applying the disclosure regime of the federal security laws to the offer and resale of Bitcoin would seem to add little value. And putting aside the fundraising that accompanied the creation of Ether, based on my understanding of the present state of Ether, the Ethereum network and its decentralized nature, current offers and sales of Ether are not securities. But then the problem is, isn't that the same thing for XRP? Like current transactions aren't securities either, but just maybe in the past. Wouldn't that apply to almost any crypto then? So, basically the lawsuit right now is fair notice for, hey, if you're doing something wrong right now, you might be in trouble, but everything you did in the past is okay. Because that's basically what they've kind of stated with Ethereum here, which is very strange. Why give such a huge advantage to Ethereum in the race for the number 2 spot behind Bitcoin? The above facts demonstrate huge conflicts of interest. You don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to seriously question the integrity of the process during the Clayton and Hinman era. Why does Ethereum Joseph single out XRP and state with such conviction that the other tokens will not get the same clarity that Bitcoin and Ether received? How does Lubin know with such certainty that SEC won't comment further regarding other decentralized networks? Let's check that out. So this is 2 minutes here of my ears just bleeded. Let's actually get this liked so I can actually show it to you guys by opening it up. It's getting dark outside, by the way. What's the time for you guys right now? Where are you at? For me right now, it is about 8:45 p.m. Let me grab this little tweet on my phone.
Big friends and
so I can hopefully let you guys listen to it. Here we go. Put it loud. Put it to the start.
so we are big friends and fans of that organization. I think they're really understanding the space well. They are applying this thing called securities law to business in America and other places, as they have done for many decades successfully. They're identifying fraudulent projects. They're identifying obvious transgressions of securities law, but they haven't had a heavy.
However, here comes the difficult part, at least mostly for me. So the start here, right, of everything that they're saying, at least from any perspective that you look at it, Ethereum crossed the rules at the start because you can't have a securities offering like that without registering. So even though they justified themselves later on, which we can definitely agree upon, the start was definitely wrong. So he's kind of funny how he's saying and laughing about others who do that.
Touch, really. They've been gathering information. They've been taking some actions. They've been very clear that they understand there is this new construct, this protocol-based open platform.
So you think they get it?
Yeah, we believe they get it. They've introduced a new construct, decentralization, into their thinking. So in addition to the Howey test, they have this new construct that they're seeing certain things in. So they consider the Bitcoin network and token and issuance mechanisms. They consider the Ethereum network token and issuance.
So he's already going to say here issuance, right? I mean, Ethereum's issuance was definitely debatable, so I don't really get that one. either. So that's definitely debatable. And also, how does he know that they look at these newer factors and all that, and how?
Mechanisms to be decentralized, and therefore no transactions involving those particular assets are considered to be transactions of securities. They have not said the same thing about other tokens, the Ripple token, for instance, and they were clear that they were going to come out with statements to sort of assess these different tokens.
So two things. One, how does he know that they have thought that about XRP/Ripple? Why does he say it like that? Because how is it really, he does sound a little bit nervous. There's a couple of strange parts about this guy in this specific video here. At least I definitely find it kind of odd just looking at it. Then again, it could be that he's just talked with the SEC and this is what they gave him, right? But now he's saying that there's going to be some sort of clarity to the market given, yet I haven't really seen it though. And this is from most likely from a long while ago.
And I believe they've made all the statements about decentralization that they're going to make. And so Bill Hinman, Director of Corporate Finance, has been very clear about what you can do and what you can't do. And decentralization is a new element that they're working with.
Yeah, the reason I think he sounds nervous is because this makes absolutely no sense. He's making it seem as if it's so freaking clear and so obvious. This is from 2019. Yet, well, first of all, nothing that the SEC states is actually their official opinion, like Mr. X or Mr. B says. That's one part that's annoying. But most importantly, it really isn't that clear exactly how this all works. I guess if you're him, it is, but generally speaking for others, it really is kind of difficult. Now, Lubin and Novogratz were roommates and close friends. Why is Novogratz so confident that he can bet diamonds and donuts that Ethereum won't be declared a security just 9 days before the speech? Novogratz, with great conviction, guarantees the SEC wouldn't declare Ethereum a security. This is from 2018, June 5th, and again, a couple of days before the determination of Ether was made properly, which once more is very peculiar if you were to ask me. Let's get this from the start. There we go. Turn the sound off because I'm going to burn my ears.
There are bigger decisions to make. Bitcoin they've already kind of said it's not a security, okay, but Ethereum they haven't ruled on yet. I bet dimes to donuts. They will say Ethereum probably was a security, but it's not anymore. And they're stuck because they weren't ahead. There is this group of tokens that were issued, probably 2,500 in total, but in reality, probably 200 that matter, that are in this kind of regulatory no man's land. And they got to figure out how to deal with that. And they're working on that right now. My gut feeling is they're going to take out a law firm. They're going to take out a token.
So straight to the bat here, there's a couple of things to add. For one, he is kind of right in the sense that their Ethereum right now is not really a security anymore. But potentially at one point or another, it was. At least that's what my opinion is. Clint in the chat box says, it's nice chatting with people from all over. I find it really fun that people are all over the world indeed. Like just in the chat box here, you can see we got Tuzla time, we got Belgium, we got Norway, we got Lisbon, we got I have no idea what that's supposed to be, that place. A lot of different places. That's always fun to kind of see, right? UK, Maryland, all around the world. Now, he's also saying that it's actually kind of difficult because all those cryptos are in no man's land. At that point, a couple of days before the speech, even now there still are about 200 important ones. And the fact that Ethereum most likely was a security at the start, but isn't now anymore. He does address it that it most likely was one.
Take out some of the promoters of these things, just to say, dudes, you got to play by the rules. But when we're talking to them about going forward in the future, they're very constructive at wanting to see this new innovative way of financing companies, of bringing liquidity and access to markets to the general population that they never had.
Very peculiar. JV says he definitely got one of those emails him and sent around. Gut feeling, he says. Yeah, right. Funny. Hester Peters is a commissioner of the SEC and has less confidence or knowledge regarding anything the SEC will or will not do. The SEC usually never gives clear and decisive market opinions, yet these two gentlemen seem to know exactly what the SEC would do or not do. How could Lubin predict so accurately that the SEC would refuse to comment on any other tokens. Why was XRP singled out? Lubin literally gloats that compared to ETH and Bitcoin, other tokens will be spectacularly disadvantaged because of regulatory uncertainty. How did Novogratz know? And here is 18th of July 2018, 1 month after the Ethereum free pass speech. Let's see it again. It's about 20 seconds long. And I'm showing this to you guys because, well, we don't have that many people, so it's more fun because a lot of people are going to have to, miss out on this information, which is critical. But also because this is it's so fun. Listen to it.
And I find, consensus, Joe Lubin was one of my college roommates. He's a wonderful source for me. We collaborate. And so I'm talking to enough people in the ecosystem that are talking to the regulators almost every day. The regulators are engaged. They need to be, and they are. And I find...
They're connected, to the SEC. Now, Mike's a very smart guy, but he wouldn't be that confident unless he was assured by someone who had personal knowledge of what Hinman was going to say about the Ethereum in that speech. In the clip below, the General Counsel of Consensus, Mr. Corva, discusses an alliance with the regulators. Got a video again from Mr. Digital Asset Investor. Matt Corva, General Counsel of Consensus, December 14, 2017. Building an alliance with other blockchain companies, law firms, and regulators. We've had some talks with the folks at the SEC. I don't remember Ripple ever having an alliance with the SEC. Let's once more listen to this one. And again, I have to fix it so my MacBook can just, integrate the sound into recordings. But right now, I keep going to my phone over on Twitter, opening the same video, and then syncing them together, because that's the best option I have. But,
standards about Ethereum technology used in enterprise. And we thought, why don't we do this with best practices in token sales again? So we started a little bit on this with the Coinbase framework last year, and the idea of the Brooklyn project is getting to a place where token sales better protect consumers. So Vinny talked about a couple of things, right? Like transparency in pre-sales, that's a big thing, right? Like no one should have a 10,000% discount. People shouldn't be flipping tokens on consumers. Things like lockups, things like restrictions on trading to reduce the chance of speculation, to reduce harm to consumers. So what we're really focused on there is building an alliance with other blockchain companies, law firms. There's a couple of interesting law schools that are interested. We hope Berkeley's going to get involved as well, and regulators. We've had some talks with some folks at the SEC about this. We've had some talks with folks in other government agencies. Standards about it.
So I was saying that some talks with the SEC about joining the alliance to basically come to a good conclusion. Very, very peculiar, guys, if you were to ask me. Very, very peculiar. Why are you guys all saying a number for? Fullerene, it's actually not smart to ask for people's age because, theoretically speaking, some people can use that information to sometimes hack your account, right? They know your age. So it's better not to put the age down. Even though 99% chance nothing will happen, it's just not a smart thing to do. You want to keep as little information of yourself in that sense out to the public. So please never put down how much crypto you have and, what your age is, I guess. That's not smart things. I'm just thinking with you guys as well, right? Maybe it's not smart. Maybe there's one bad actor just watching, trying to get your information. I don't know. All right, let's move on with the story because it's a long one, but it's a really interesting one. We know Corva met with Hinman the day before the above clip. Just how many times did Lubin or others from the Ethereum or Consensus meet or talk with the SEC between December 13, 2017 and June 14, 2018? Who reviewed, edited, or helped write the Hinman speech before June 14, 2018? Who's on the 63 emails regarding the speech? Who made any large purchases of Ethereum leading up to the speech? And if anyone did make large purchases of ETH leading up to the speech, do they have any connection to Lubin and Consensus or Hinman and Clayton or the law firms? Which SEC employees owned Ethereum on June 13, 2018? Where's Hinman's calendar and dates of SEC meetings? We need an investigative journalist to start asking these fair questions, and he's tagging a couple. Joe Lubin was 100% on spot when he said other tokens would be spectacularly disadvantaged to Bitcoin and Ether. Brett Garlinghouse and Joel Katz met with Hinman and Clayton on August 20th, 2018, 9 weeks after the speech. This is how Ripple CEO described this disadvantage. Quote, so the question at hand. So they basically met August 20th. Yes, it was a short meeting. This seems accurate. Question. Okay, and to be clear, by August 20th, 2018, you had delivered your speech but to the marketplace where you gave your view that neither Ether nor Bitcoin are securities. Is that correct? Yes. And in this memo, there was a discussion involving my client and Schwartz. Is that David Schwartz? He says, I believe so. That's what the memo says. Okay. About Ripple's business in technology, that's what the memo writes, right? Correct. Okay. And it looks like there's also a notation that towards the end of the meeting, House briefly noted that Ripple was in purgatory due to uncertainty as to whether XRP, the crypto with which Ripple is associated, is or is not a security. Do you see that sentence? Memo concluded, and Chairman Clayton, is this the same one? No, there's actually, okay. Do you see that sentence? There's no answer. We don't see that. A little bit later, though, maybe it's like a freaking 3-page question. Maybe he just says I do, because I don't know exactly why he wouldn't add the second page right there, to be honest with you. But all right. Memo concluded, and Chairman Jay Clayton encouraged the Ripple executives to continue ongoing discussions with the staff, the Division of Corporation Finance. Do you see that as well? He says I do. Is there anything in this memo that indicates that Chairman Clayton was of the view that sales of XRP in August of 2018 were security sales? Mr. Torero says, objective form, you mean other than when he tells him not to talk about that with him? Mr. Solomon says that wasn't my question. Is there anything in the memo that indicates that Chairman Jay Clayton stated the view that XRP sales were sales of securities? Do you see that here? And the answer is, I don't see him saying one way or another anything about that characterization of Ripple or XRP. Question, and that would have been a significant piece of information had he said, correct? Answer is, I think the chairman was steering the conversation away from that topic because I think he was aware that people were gathering more information about XRP at that point. Question, okay, and is there anything in here, Mr. Hinman, that indicates that you expressed a view at this meeting that you believed sales of XRP were security sales at this point in time? He says no. Very, very interesting. By the way, I think as it stands here, SEC, or what's it called now? William Hinman had been deposed for 11 hours. That's a long ass talk. I would be freaking tired as could be, man. 11 hours of just questions. All right, 9 weeks after this speech, House tells Clayton and Hinman that Ripple is living in purgatory because the SEC didn't provide the same clarity for XRP that it did Ethereum. In response, neither Clayton nor Hinman told Ripple CEO that they believed XRP was a security. The origination of ETH fits the Howey definition of an investment contract much easier than XRP ever could. Anyone that does a cursory review of the facts above, and there is so much more, will come to only one conclusion. The lawsuit against Ripple and XRP was a hit job. In a clip above, Novogratz himself predicted the SEC would pick a token or promoters and try to take them out as an example. We saw that. We just heard him say it. You don't have to be a fan of Ripple and XRP to acknowledge the injustice, the selective enforcement, and deep conflicts of interest or corruption. Beautifully written. Very nice. Very interesting. Very, very peculiar, guys. Long theory, but very relevant, very peculiar. And again, it's very freaking interesting. Moving on, though, guys. So, Alert Channel just shared this, right? And I got really excited up until one point. Bank of England document confirms that Ripple XRP protocol has been successfully tested for crossover payment transactions. FinTech accelerated proof of concept. Hashtag Ripple is exploring the synchronized settlement of payments using the Interledger protocol. So it said a Bank of England FinTech accelerated proof of concept. Ripple exploring the synchronized settlement of blah, blah, blah. I got really happy, and then I saw this. You forgot to mention that these are old news from July 10th, 2017. Maybe your news are Ripple is one of the partners from the digital pound. So, on the Bank of England website, Ripple proof of concept. We carried out a proof of concept with Ripple to explore the synchronized movement of two different... Ooh, why are you spamming, my friend? Of two different currencies across two different real-time gross settlement systems linked using Ripple Connect and the Interledger protocol. We wanted to demonstrate how this kind of synchronization might lower settlement risk and improve the speed and efficiency of cross-border payments, which was, again, the 10th of July 2017, which most likely is also... No, I don't know exactly why they didn't provide the link then. However, it's still kind of cool to think about it, though. The links that Ripple has everywhere. It's getting kind of crazy and hot in here, guys. Let's see. What is this, actually? Is there Ripple mentioned anywhere? I don't know what this is supposed to be about. This is the Reserve Bank of New Zealand. Reserve Bank of New Zealand Analytic Notes Series. An introduction to not so funny monies. The paper introduces the distributed ledger technology of crypto. We aim to increase public understanding of these technologies, highlight some of the risks involved in using cryptocurrencies, and discuss some of the potential implications of these technologies for consumers. Huh, but it doesn't say anything about Ripple or XRP, right? Maybe it does, but And also somebody says that didn't use XRP, it just used RippleNet without ODL, and it was a proof of concept from years ago. But it was still rather peculiar, at least in my opinion it was. 64B Crypto says, Dusty, I'm not getting notifications. No, that's known, all right? It's known. You don't get notifications very often. That's why I said, guys, join the DustyBC Telegram alerts thing. I just linked it in the comment section, description or whatever. I'll link it again. Because in there, I'll basically post an update every single time I go live or upload a video or anything like that. So you guys get the notification for it. Otherwise, once more, you're just going to miss out on a lot of different videos or live streams. Every time I go live, I certainly post an alert for it in this Telegram, so you know. I also put it over on Twitter, but this sometimes might be a little bit better for you. So check it out. Then Stephen W. Huber put up a Gary Gensler little thing. So in the footnotes of some of these latest documents, it said, the commission has also publicly recognized Ethereum as native currency Ether. See William Hinman's speech, which is interesting to have as a footnote. Then the commission has also publicly recognized Ether as a native currency ETH. Again, the commission has also publicly recognized Ethereum as a native currency ETH. And the commission has also publicly recognized Ether as a native currency ETH. Point being, they're basically talking about Ethereum as if William Hinman gave clarity a couple of years ago. Yet whenever we kind of claim that and we talk about that, they're saying, no, it's not the case because that wasn't clarity. However, it's been publicly recognized. How did that work then? Why did they keep referring to that? Why did the SEC, put so much emphasis on that? Very peculiar, right? Very, very peculiar. All right, guys. And once more, make sure you check out my places. Like, for example, Bybit is the exchange I use. I personally love it. Works like a charm. You might want to check that out. The Telegrams, we have a group and we have an alerts one. You might want to just join both. The group is for fun and chats and giggles. I'm in there all the time. And the alerts is to make sure you are updated every single time that something new happens. Also, you might want to check out my Instagram. Make sure you understand there's quite a lot of scams going around. There's a lot of people trying to impersonate me. The DustDBC is the only one I have. The .dustdbc is a scam, and there's most likely a ton of other scams too. This is the only real Instagram that I have. Mike is cutting in and out for a second. Maybe it's my internet. I'm not sure, my friend. I have no idea if that's me or not. What's the odds of going to trial at this point? Well, that's very high, though, right? I mean, the chance of Ripple going to summary judgment is very high, if you were to ask me. Because, again, yeah, like Shaba says, Ripple wants to win. Ripple said in their letter to the employees, in the 22nd, I think, or the 20th of December, that they could have settled already, but they want to go for a full win. They don't want to go half-assed, basically. But did my mic cut out a couple of times? Jamie says Ripple cannot win. Why do you think so, Jamie? Mohammed says, bro, what did I miss? And I missed your intro. Once more, Mohammed, maybe the smartest thing to do is join my alerts Telegram group. I linked it in the chat box right there. Oh, that's my Instagram. Damn. Let me link it again. Because that way you can get a notification every single time I go live. Might be the best thing for you. Mic was fine. All right, good. Yeah, and I guess people will hate on things regardless, huh? Guys, don't hate on Jamie. If he thinks Ripple can't win, that's his own opinion, guys. I mean, we should respect everybody's opinion. Some people like things, some people don't like things. That's just the reality of it. The SEC never loses. But that's one thing I think you're potentially forgetting, is that even though the SEC never loses on paper, which they still do, they sometimes do lose. Of course, we're not going to ban Jamie. If he's against Ripple or XRP, that could be, guys. You're not going to ban somebody for just being against your ideas. That's not what we stand for here, guys. Once more, as I said before, we accept everybody. If he doesn't think it's going to work out, it's in his complete own right to think so. I personally disagree. I think Ripple will win. And I think personally that the SEC can win on paper. But that depends, because that's a settlement scenario, right? Where if Ripple and the SEC were to settle, The SEC wins when they get settlement money. But still, every... Well, check the chat box, XRP. Somebody said that. Somebody said, should be mad. Yeah, point B. Oh, I don't remember the point anymore. Oh yeah, if the SEC can still make it sound kind of look like a win. The only way in which the SEC loses basically is if we go to the entire trial, we go through summary judgment, and the judge concludes that Ripple has won and was better, right? But yeah, I personally think that it might happen. You know, because this is actually a really big test here, a really big test of the SEC's jurisdiction, and it could potentially be that the SEC overreached and that they now have to kind of dim back. And it could also be that they were just wrong in alleging something. And so I definitely think they can lose. Even though they don't lose often, they do lose a good portion of their cases. It's just they usually don't lose these huge cases, it seems like, right? But I mean, Tesla came out of it properly. Amazon came out of it properly. Most companies come out of it properly. There's just some that really do something wrong that get effed up. But the majority of them are fine. Yeah, Fullerian says the judge is trying to be so thorough that the SEC cannot appeal my thoughts. I personally think the judge is so thorough because it's such an important case. She knows that it's not just, $1 billion on the line, it's $1 trillion because the entire crypto market is decided off of this specific issue. And I think she knows as well that her decision right now is so critical and her legitimacy as a judge basically can really be attacked if she makes the wrong decision right now, because this is going to get so much further. And specifically, the decision of this lawsuit is most likely going to act as the same or to the same degree that the Howey test was, and in the case of Howey. So the decision that this judge makes will go into the future of every single thing in crypto, a lawsuit that is. It'll be very, very important that she's very thorough with it all. And Dusty, will the price do something tomorrow? I personally think it will just follow Bitcoin. I don't think it will be anything else. Because the Brad Garland has a deposition or the SEC finding those documents, it ain't going to be too much. I mean, it's going to be nice for Ripple, but why would it increase the price? Because I don't think it should. Longer term, I do think so. I think when Ripple gets the documents, so that will pump the price. But that's not tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to see a redacted version. A little bit more in the future, we're going to see the actual stuff. All right, but guys, that was it for today's video. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button right now on the video, or the live stream, I should say, and subscribe to the channel with the notification bell on. I think we're almost at 131,000 subs. I think, let me quickly see. We are. Oh yeah, we're about. I guess we're still a pretty big away. Yeah, there's still quite a lot of subscribers to go. But guys, make sure you press the subscribe button if you haven't done that yet, with the notification bell on. And I'll see you guys again in another stream later today. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. But this was my update for right now. A lot of cool stuff. See you guys again a little bit later. All right. Thank you all so much for stopping by, saying hi. And sorry if I couldn't answer every question, but we got through a lot of cool stuff. So thank you all for stopping by, as I said before, and see you guys later.